Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what could have been awesome if people hadn't ruined it? Chat roulette. Could have been so awesome to just randomly chat with someone in another country. But people had to ruin it by just having dicks on it all the time. Just like the feature in the early Nintendo 3DS days, where it would take a picture of your face when you would die in Star Fox or something and send it to the player who killed you. They removed it because people were sending dick pics and kids were seeing them. The thought of someone aiming their 3DS to get that nice picture of their dick. After scrolling through, the consensus seems to be: everything we touch. You are a virus. Agent Smith. r/Theos Dido the Grog. Edit, till people take movies way too seriously and are easily butthurt. Meta keywords on websites used to be a good way to tell search engines what your website is about until lots of websites started keyword stuffing and adding tons of unrelated keywords to show up in more searches, so now most search engines just ignore them. Keyword stuffing drives me nuts when online shopping. There needs to be a separate place for keywords. They don't belong in the item's title. Oh, look at this one pair: men's women's kids unisex polyurethane genuine furios leather professional cosplay steam puck medical no finger mitten glove had coverings with zipper snap closure. They are gloves. If I search for a specific item, like leather gloves, I report every single thing that comes up in that search that is not leather gloves. Fuck those people. Climbing Mount Everest. It used to be a huge accomplishment, and nowadays people hire Nepali people to take all their stuff and make their way up easy and comfortable. There is also a huge amount of trash and a queue at the very top. It looks like an awful idea these days. Apparently the trash includes a lot of poo, and at least one dead body, if that's not too a disrespectful way of putting it. There are many dead bodies. Several of them are used as guide markers. I wonder if Sherpas make fun of Westerners for being so excited to summit Everest, like, the Sherpa does this at least once a year and did it carrying all your extra shit. The Sherpa does this at least once a year. It's like the people who climb Kilimanjaro. It's a big accomplishment and it's terribly exciting, but of course, you're going up with a bunch of people who carry all the gear and help make you dinner. To them, it's just their, probably boring, job. Of course, the people climbing MK aren't necessarily mountain climbers, either. Also, while it takes about a week to go up with one of these teams, there's a guy who can climb the whole thing in 8 hours. The issue is always one of oxygen more than of technical difficulty. He's done it so many times that his lungs have adapted and he can waltz up it on relatively little air. The Sherpas consider the mountain sacred, so don't like to climb it. They will do it for money, and they get paid what they consider to be a decent sum, and yes, they do find it curious that people want to climb it. Social media. It seems like it would be a great way to meet people, share ideas, and learn. Instead, people take great joy in trolling, scamming, and deliberately spreading crap. The issue of echo chambers creating misleading propaganda centers is a huge issue on the internet, which is hard to counter. Reddit is heavily a part of this issue as well. I don't see a stop to this, unless certain governments intervenes with tech bills, specific legislations, or similar measures. Critical thinking is almost a superpower today. People no longer look for information to challenge their point of view, they want a source, any source, that reinforces their perception. It's really too bad. Today is the first time in society we can actually get multiple points of view, dozens of experts, and hundreds of data points, but we default to where we are comfortable. The History Channel, TLC, Discovery, etc. used to be such great education tools and put out great content. Now, it's saturated with reality TV shows that are on all the time. God, I miss when I was in middle school and history was all about that World War II shit. I learned way more about World War II on history than in class. That robot who was hitchhiking everywhere. I think he only lasted about a day in America. We suck. He got torn apart literally the day he was released. Seriously, he'd crossed Canada twice and the Americans couldn't get him out of one state. To be fair, they probably could have picked a better starting point than Pennsylvania. He did a lot of travel in America actually, started in Massachusetts. He met his demise when he got to Philadelphia specifically, which should surprise no one. Do they know who the robot ruiner was? Never knew about this until now. What a cool idea. Sucks that some asshole felt the need to ruin it. https://cnn.com/cnn/cnn/08//003us/hitchborough.beheaded-philadel-fire-feet//index-html. Pretty cool story but rip. Hashtags. People actually used them sensibly at first. Edit, spelling. Edit 2. Hash missed hash opportunity hash to hashtag hash phi. Going to the store today. Hash what should I buy hash I work out how to do hashtag hash target is my favorite story fueled hash maybe a should something cool. I hash have hash sometimes hash seen hash entire hash sentences hash like hash this hash written hash in hash hashtags. My favorite fishing spot. Cathabai. JJX is powerless against overcrowded fishing spots. Flying drones as a hobby. I'm scared to fly my race quad in my local park now. This gave me flashbacks of literal 5-year-olds running up to me asking if they could have a turn because I've done this before. Trust me, I'm a master. Haven't been drone flying in a while even with my small RC plane. Oh yeah, my wife is a drone pilot for her job and just a week ago we were test flying her drone to make sure it could do the job she needed it for. All in this drone plus equipment costs around $5,500. A kid asked if he could fly it and we said no and his mom ridiculed us for not letting her son at least try. The YouTube comment section could have been a place for insightful discussion. IMBD used to be the best place for movie and TV show discussion. Then in flood the assholes with useless asshole comments. They shut it down. No website has come close to what it once was. IMDb boards were always infested with trolls. I was on those forums back in 2004 and it wasn't any better than it was before it was shut down. My favorite was whenever a celebrity died and an I warned him Jack Nicholson thread would always pop up. The closure of IMDb is why I ended up on Reddit. I loved IMDb. I actually didn't see many trolling posts on there or people deliberately trying to be a dick, like on Reddit. I wish they kept the forums up even if you couldn't post. The rainforest. Welcome to the jungle. We got trees and rain. We got everything you want. Mostly trees and rain. Had a earth fight for my birthday and one of my friends brought a mod Durf Mega. There's always a bigger fish. The Great Barrier Reef was and still is awesome. Unfortunately Australia and the world have likely doomed it. I heard they found a way to rapidly grow back coral, by splitting them and letting each half grow. Our reefs may be okay if they hurry. It doesn't matter if we don't fix the underlying issue that caused the coral to die in the first place. They're not going to hurry. Most fandoms. I love Undertale and Steven Universe. Absolutely hate the fandom. Edit, Jesus tits, 99 plus notifications from one post. Shout out to Kpop and Rick and Morty. It's because Undertale and Steven Universe, add to this Rick and Morty ace will, try really hard to be philosophical or have some deeper meaning. Then when the fan base picks up on they suddenly develop some ounce of self-reflection and societal criticism. All of a sudden they think they are such a deep thinker because in Undertale they learned the lesson that you should talk your problems out instead of fighting. So now you got this fandom that thinks it's enlightened and everyone who disagrees with them isn't enlightened and they feel it's their place to educate them. Undertale is a good game with a solid story, Rick and Morty is pretty good and entertaining, but my god do I just want to know TF. Out whenever someone talks about it. Sue fandom tried to bully a girl into suicide for drawing a character with the wrong skin tone. It's an order of magnitude worse than the others. The Undertale fans suck because they think there's only one proper way to play the game and anything else is blasphemy despite being coded into the game. If you were a YouTuber or a streamer and tried to do a genocide run you had better be ready for all the harassment coming your way. Every system once somebody decides to gamify it for likes /clicks /money /whatever. So, YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. It got so bad that you forgot to mention it. We had a common area where anyone who needed it could let their animals graze, but then wealthy folks with a lot of land and livestock would descend on it en masse, even though they didn't need it, and ruined it. It's a tragedy. Ah yes, the tragedy of the commons. The mountain lake where my parents had a summer cabin and dock for fishing and swimming. It used to be pristine and peaceful, the smell of pine trees in the breeze and abundant fish. Now, as I once mentioned, the trees have been cut down, the water is polluted with oil and gas from roaring motorboat engines, and the fish are gone. Similar thing in northern India at Lake Tipikayu, where my family has had a place since the 1950s. Sure, developers come into places that are beautiful, but they have built so many giant homes that it's mostly multimillionaires up there with their huge wakeboarding boats and personal watercraft. I love looking at the photos from the 80s when I grew up and we went up there to fish and swim and water ski. The people were real, lots of retirees who worked all their lives to buy a little cottage on the lake, and the families passed the cottages down the generations. Oh, well, that's what happens, I guess. There are a lot of lakes up there and they are all beautiful.